Hi, ladies. Welcome to Pathways to Fertility, a YouTube station dedicated to the women who are trying to conceive the baby of their dreams. And in particular, this station is for the women who are on the hardcore journey to improve their egg quality, to improve their fertility, to conceive their baby. Today, we're going to continue on with egg quality. I am Samantha Jacobs. I'm a licensed acupuncturist in Connecticut and New York. I've specialized in fertility since 2003. Now, before we go any farther, I am not a trained dietitian. And in fact, what I thought was going to be such an easy video to make turned out for me to be the personal deep dive. And I have very good basic overall information. If you are looking to fine tune it for yourself, you would want to seek out a dietitian. I highly recommend the book. It starts with the egg. That is probably one of the most potent, solid, good diet information, nutritional information. I have been recommending fish oil since the beginning of time to my clients. And when I went to create this video, what I thought would be like a 5-minute video on fish oil turns out to be probably like a half an hour lecture on essential fatty acids. And so I'm just going to get to the crux of what you want to hear. Nothing worse than these YouTube videos that go for half an hour and you're waiting for like that final result. Here's the final result. Clinically, the research shows a Mediterranean diet, a diet supplemented in seafood, and fish oil supplementation improves rates of fertility, improves egg quality, embryo quality, and live birth rates. I'm going to begin with bad fats. These are the bad fats that we hear a lot about in cardiovascular disease. Well, it turns out they also diminish a woman's fertility. And when we are looking at bad fats, which are called LDLs, we have two categories. We have trans fats and we have saturated fats. When we look at these two types of fats, these bad fats, we can see in particular too, especially with trans fats, that they are primarily made with artificial fats, chemicals, and are primarily used in fast food and highly processed food. Now, the majority of our favorite snacks involve these bad fats. Nutritionally, right, no more than 10% of your daily food intake should be coming from saturated and trans fats. Well worth stopping and looking at what's in the product and on the nutritional label. Remember, ladies, this type of fat is not helpful for getting pregnant. And in fact, studies clearly show diets high in trans fats, saturated fats, women have lower rates of conception, higher rates of infertility. All right, ladies, we are on to the good stuff. And these are the good fats. And just to speak in broad terms, fatty acids being either bad fats or good fats are basic building blocks. And they help our bodies to make cells and build other hormones. Now, in particular, the good fatty acids, especially the omega-3s, not only help your body build cells and make hormones, they have very strong anti-inflammatory effects. And the bad fats can be used as building blocks, but not only, they can build things, but they're also tearing down a part of our body by making it sensitive to inflammation. And in particular, if you have autoimmune diseases, bad fats will enhance the body's desire to want to attack itself. There are several types of omegas, and I went with the basics, which are omega 9s, omega 6s, and omega 3s. And these are the ones that are spoken a lot out in the world, in books, on the internet. And so we're just going to briefly go through these different types of omega fats. I'm going to help you understand who does what and who should not be eaten a lot of. And omega 9s are a broad category of essential fats that are non-essential. They're non-essential monounsaturated fats, omega 9. Basically, it means that the body can produce these fatty acids. It just has the capacity to take building blocks from other places and make omega 9s. When you're thinking, oh, can I take a supplement for this? There's absolutely no need to supplement. And in fact, just moderate consumption food products is perfectly fine, and then the body will make omega 9 on its own. And omega 9s are found in olive oil, cashew nut oil, almond oil, avocado oil, and can be found in raw nuts. The key here is nuts lose their nutritional value when they're roasted. So you're looking to buy especially raw walnuts. They are amazingly powerful for the body. Chinese medicine sees the walnut as a powerhouse to keep the foundation of who we are strong. So just by eating a couple of, just 1 or 2 walnuts every day, you can get enough omega 9s. Now, obviously, we are more familiar with omega 9 from olive oil. And what I find really interesting, because everybody tells us olive oil is really good for us. The thing is that olive oil should be consumed in moderation, okay? Now, the main component of olive oil is oleic acid. And that particular acid has been found to be anti-inflammatory in the body, right? This is where we're seeing the powerhouse of olive oil. Yeah, olive oil contains omega 6s, and we're going to talk about them next. And I'm going to link that thought process back to olive oil. But the key is olive oil in moderation. We can trace olive oil. We can talk about, here's this, we're going to link it in, the Mediterranean diet. And this is something I am very much of an advocate for my clients. And my personal point of view, moderation, sensibility, eating as many clean vegetables, proteins every day, olive oil, grass-fed, hormone-free butter and milk, just good, solid eating habits, leaning into this Mediterranean diet. And we're going to see over and over as we go through this little diagram that we keep coming back to the Mediterranean diet to improve fertility. Linking back to omega 6. Now, omega 6 is a monounsaturated fat, similar to the omega 9. And the primary component of omega 6 is oleic acid, LA. And that is found in plants, vegetable oils, soya oil, corn oil, canola oil. Our diets are already primarily high in seed oils. we are consuming a lot of seed oils, which links us back to olive oil. Pro-inflammatory issues that go on in our body can be created by omega-6. So there'll be a key later on to omega-6. And this is why we need to be cautious about how much olive oil we are consuming. Olive oil is high in omega-6. High omega-6s in the body produce inflammation and suppress the immune system and suppress omega-3s. Overall, research consistently shows that most women trying to conceive often have higher levels of omega-6s compared to the 3's, and they have lower rates of conception. By the way, I've made links in this handout, so if you want to look at the research, you can. Nothing drives me more nuts than somebody on YouTube talking about research and you can't even access the research article. Omega-3s are 3 fatty acids, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce them. So their abbreviations are ALA, EPA, DHA. And we may be familiar with ALA. That is found in many fertility supplements, these sort of proprietary special blends, get pregnant, improve your egg quality supplement. And then we may be familiar with EPA and DHA because that's what's listed on fish oil supplement bottles. ALA is primarily found in plant oils like flaxseed oil, soybean, canola. Once again, you can find it in walnuts, kale, and spinach. ALA is an essential fatty acid, which means your body cannot make it. You have to eat these foods to be able to get it. Once the ALA is inside your body, the body can utilize ALA to make EPA and DHA, okay? So interestingly enough, right, you eat the walnut, that gives your body ALA, and then your body can say, hey, you know what? We're going to make some DHA and EPA. So the body can convert and use ALA in the best way that it sees it needs to use it in. It was noted in one of the research articles that women should be cautious of high levels of ALA and LA, which can cause infertility. And this is primarily related to the fact that most women are consuming ALA and LA from seed oils. And if you remember from just above with the omega-6s, LA can suppress, it will lower omega-3s, and it will, right, create inflammation. Once again, it's really important to have a balance between the omega-3s and the omega-6s. I linked ALA in particular down here to the bottom. We'll be going over this a little bit more, that overall ALA will improve IVF outcomes and embryo quality and live birth rates. Coming back to omega-3s, we have the DHA and EPA, and they are only found in seafood. So we are talking about herring and salmon, eel, shrimp. So you can get some of these omega-3s through grass-fed meats, dairy products, but they're much smaller amounts. And just to make a point, right, this is why women are recommended to consume grass-fed dairy products and meats. It's because just one angle of how these omega-3s improve your fertility. These heavy hitters, the DHA and the EPA, we'll see have a lot of anti-inflammatory effects. They are like healthy building blocks to optimize how everything is working in your body. Improve that egg quality. Now we're getting into the meaty stuff of omega-3s. We're going to talk about the good actions of polyunsaturated fatty acids. Primarily, we're focusing on anti-inflammatory effects. So first of all, omega-3s help to open up the blood flow throughout the body. And it decreases the blood from clotting. And if you remember from my video on follicular genesis, I talked a lot about pelvic blood flow. And it's such a key to be able to have our body, to have our blood circulating throughout our body, being able to get to our ovaries so that the blood can transfer the hormones, the oxygen, the nutrients, and then it can swish through and take away the byproducts and move back through the body to clear up any kind of metabolic stuff that's lingering around. These are key basic elements to making sure your egg quality is as optimized as possible. Then we have a two-layered effect for inflammation. So the omega-3s, they increase the production of anti-inflammatory agents in the body, and at the same time, it addresses just inflammation in general. So we are seeing a two-layered process going on. So EPA decreases the body wanting to make a lot of inflammation. It's stopping the body from making chemicals and hormones that create inflammation. We can also see that omega-3s alter the cellular membrane, and it allows the cells to become more permeable to allowing things to come in and out. So what we're doing is optimizing how cells function. Those healthy fats provide a cellular structure that allows the body, all those little tiny things that we can't see and we don't even think about, to work incredibly effective. In fact, to work incredibly effective. Finally, we're also seeing how the omega-3s interplay with the immune system, and it deregulates the immune system to become less reactive, less responsive to attacking itself. Second of all, we have steroid genesis. And this is a process by which the body makes hormones. The fatty acids, the omega fatty acids, are incredibly key players in creating certain hormones. Once again, if you remember from my follicular genesis video, cholesterol interacts in the follicle to create estrogen. When the corpus luteum is creating progesterone, it's coming from cholesterol. That cholesterol is coming from these omega-3 fatty acids. They are key players. If we're just thinking two basic major hormones estrogen and progesterone. It is such a key player between the brain and the ovary. It is allowing those two hormones allow and trigger a follicle to grow and ovulate. So these omega fatty acids are so potent to helping your follicle make healthy hormones so that your reproductive system is getting all the right signaling. Looking at all the studies, overall what I picked up was, right, women with lower omega-3s, we have to keep in mind, we always want the omega-3s to be higher than the omega-6s. So women with low omega-3s had reduced fertility compared to women who were taking omega-3 supplementation. Looking at the research consistently shows fertility is greatly improved with omega-3s. One study showed that women with low omega-3s had reduced fertility compared to women who were taking omega-3 supplementation, and that estradiol levels were higher with women who consumed ALA and DHA. Those women also had less anovulatory cycles. It was interesting to note, the research shows again and again that secondary infertility often responds better to diet modification or an increased intake of omega-3. So for ladies out there who have secondary infertility, this may be an incredible help for your egg quality. Here we have a study that was not on fertility, but rather improved longevity. And it was a small study of 22 people, and they were quite young, 19 to 37. But what they found was that the group who took the omega-3s, they had improved cardiovascular system, decreased inflammation. So even just in general, it's going to improve your health and well-being. And so here's our big, like, ha-ha, is overall, over and over and over again, IVF outcomes and embryo quality improves with omega-3 being higher than omega-6s. And there were quite a few studies who had mixed results. And basically what I noted consistently through those mixed results was often that women who consume high fish diet or take a lot of fish oil supplements led to mixed results. And I'm going to go over that in a minute. And I linked some studies here, so you can always check that out. These are the things that come to my mind when I'm reading about mixed results. Primarily animal studies. We pick animals because they're similar to us, and then if that happens to a mouse, it's probably going to happen to us. But as we know, that may not be the case. There were very few. I didn't come across any large-scale studies, and I mean large-scale, like over 3,000 women. And in fact, most of the studies pertain to about 100 women or 200 women. Smaller group, more variable to the rate of what's being measured. Third, there was absolutely no study that clearly analyzed what a woman was consuming and taking her blood levels. They either did one or the other. They didn't do both together. There were some studies that indicated that fatty acids lose their capacity to work as well in women as they start to move towards the, late 30s and 40s. And then finally, primarily related to this mixed result about high fish consumption, fish oil consumption. And that is because fish mostly contain heavy metals, and we need to be very cautious about how much we're consuming, what's the quality of the fish that we are consuming, because it has been clearly shown that these heavy metals interfere with our fertility. All right, we are now on to supplementation. So in general, most women get enough omega-6s in their diet, and there's absolutely no reason to supplement for it. You will get plenty of omega-6s and omega-9s, 4 tablespoons of olive oil every day, handful of walnuts. You've got your bases covered. And when we're talking about supplementing, and I should have used the word food, in your diet, right? Omega-3s always need to be higher than omega-6s, right? Omega-6s have inflammatory effects and suppress omega-3s when they're higher than the total amount of omega-3s. So we need to always make sure that the omega-3s are the heavy hitters in the diet. And once again, omega-6 is competing with omega-3, and it will take away your body's ability to create DHA and EPA. Very interesting, the research shows generally when you're taking a fish oil supplement, it lasts for about 24 hours. So you can take a fish oil in the morning or a fish oil in the evening, and you'll be covered for 24 hours. You would want to eat seafood 2 or 3 times a week. It's not recommended to go much beyond that because of the concern for heavy metals. And fish oil supplementation, you want to take somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 milligrams a day, no more than 5,000. You want to make sure, I'm a supplement snob. I think supplements made in America have better quality, especially brands like Designs for Health, Thorne. They do batch testing. You want to make sure you see on the label for the fish oil that it's independently batch test for heavy metals. Ladies, what do you think? Have you had any experience with fish oil? Do you have any input? I'd love to hear what you think. Share with me and share with the others that are on, this video trying to figure things out. If you have any ideas or concepts for me to talk about in the future, I'd love to hear. If you like this video, please like it. A lowly lady in Connecticut, I'm 55. This is like mind-blowing to me to try to make these videos, so I appreciate any help. And I will see you for our next video. We're going to continue on with egg quality. Thanks.